meeting of the City Council to order. May we have the roll call, please?
Yes, Councilmember Chavez,
Here.
Councilmember Vizcarra,
Here.
Councilmember Hughes absent, Mayor Pro Tem Mann,
Here.
Mayor Sternquist.
Here. Okay,
Motion to excuse Councilmember Yu.
Second.
okay, any objections? All right, so moved. We move to item 3, the invocation, and Councilmember Chavez will provide that for us.
Thank you. So if we'll all please rise and bow our heads and please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Please help us engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group, and strengthen the bonds of community. Please keep the volunteers and participants in this weekend's Relay for Life and Runaway from Drugs events in your prayers. Please continue to watch over our first responders and teachers. Hear our prayers and be in the midst of our meeting tonight. Thank you that your presence calms the troubled sea of life and speaks peace to our souls. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, ceremonial matters, and okay. We have one proclamation that I would like to take some time to read what that is about. And it's United Against Hate Week, November 13th through the 20th, 2022. Whereas the United States is a nation of immigrants whose strength comes from its diversity, and whereas the Constitution enshrines equality on all individuals, regardless of race, gender, orientation, religion, or political views, and whereas there is an ongoing escalation of hate speech that encourages the propagation of racist, xenophobic, anti-Semitic, sexist, homophobic, Islamophobic, and other bigoted views by emboldening hate groups and individuals. And whereas deep divisions within our country are the result of extreme ideology, further strengthening a cycle of mistrust and suspicion fueled by fear, anxiety, and insecurity. The number of hate crimes across the United States has increased dramatically over the past 6 years. And whereas the City of Temple City is dedicated to preventing and opposing hate and intolerance in our communities, and whereas education, compassion, and cooperation are key to unlocking, understanding, and embracing differences between people, and whereas we seek to join other communities in California and cities across this country in this annual United Against Hate Week as an important step in bridging divisions and strengthening our communities. Therefore, I, Cynthia Sternquist, Mayor of Temple City, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim November 13th through 19th United Against Hate Week and each and every day beyond. Signed, November 1st, 2022. And will we put this in City Hall, Peggy? Okay, so we're going to put, Brian, can I give you this? Okay, we move to item 6, public comments, not on the agenda, and we have Daisy Hernandez here. Hi, Daisy, if you'd come up to the podium. And Daisy is actually speaking about LA versus Hate United Against Hate Week. Welcome.
Hello. Hi, thank you for having me tonight. Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. I'm Daisy Hernandez, and I'm a student at Cal State LA. I am here tonight I'm sorry?
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles, yes.
I guess I went there. So.
Oh, nice. I am here representing the LA versus Hate program. The LA versus Hate program is a project of the LA County Commission of Human Relations. The commission is one of the oldest civil rights agencies in the country, devoted to promoting positive human relations in our rich, diverse, multicultural country. The LA versus Hate campaign aims to inspire people to stand up to hate by expressing solidarity, and by reporting hate through the 211 system. The campaign helps victims of hate receive needed interventions through team of professionals. For the third year, LA vs. Hate is hosting United Against Hate Week, a week of community-inspired innovative strategies to engage residents by offering art interventions, community events, digital resources, and creative opportunities to stand against hate. The goal is to promote respect and inclusion during the week by having community members display artwork in businesses, homes, and schools to promote LA vs. Hate, United Against Hate Week on digital platforms and by holding events that inspire inclusivity and collaboration. Your city residents can get resources and toolkits to get involved at laversushate.org. We thank Temple City for joining us in celebrating and participating the importance of this week. Thank you.
Thank you, Daisy. Brian, can we put that on our website? So we'll have that on the website.
Perfect.
So Daisy, do you know what the Eagles were called before they changed their name?
I want to say the Diablos.
There you go, good job.
Thank you.
They actually changed it while I was going there. There's all this controversy.
So long ago.
It was a long time ago. Hey, when I went there, it was $15 a unit. I don't know what it is now.
Oh my
I'll
goodness.
tell you, it was a lot less. But, yeah, they changed it because there was a little controversy. Well, how can you call yourself devils, you know, like.
Like
so.
the Indians, no more
Yeah,
Indians.
no Indians, no devils.
Oh,
But
I
good.
see.
Good, well, thank you for coming.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you. Steve Stafford? Welcome, Steve.
Mayor Sternquist, Mayor Pro Tempore Mann, City Council members. I was in Ralph's today, and the interesting thing is there's a lot of unhappiness over the merger. And employees are leaving. We had a real good store director there, and they took him out. And total dynamic change. I go to get service from a service bakery that's closed because they have no manpower. They're short. I would like to see the city go on record opposing the supermarket merger. It's going to get worse if they merge. There's not enough choices out there. There's going to be vacant buildings that when they close places, they might just close this store. It might be just trying to drive people out so they don't have to relocate them. I worked for Ralph's for 10 years, and it was good while it lasted, but when you got the wrong manager in there, man, he does things to hurt everybody. And they got that right now in that store. You don't have a service bakery in a store that has a service bakery. That doesn't work. Half the time, you go to get something off real high, and it's very dangerous. Like those big 2 liters of Coke. You know, I come in there, I shop there all the time, and I don't want to see a merger. I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think it's going to work. I think the companies are just trying to do it to make money. They don't care about you or me. They don't care, obviously, about their employees. They don't care about anything but their pockets. And that was very apparent today. And again, I'd like you guys to go on record and bring an item forward opposing the merger and send it to our senators, our congressmen, our assemblymen, everybody, because it won't work. I know it now. I saw what happened the last time. Go into Covina and look at all the vacant market buildings over there. One's by Eastland Shopping Center. Albertson closed a bunch of stores. So did Vaughn's. So now you got vacant buildings. You know what those are going to attract if they close that? Ralph's, homeless people. It'll be tremendously hard to deal with. I think it's the worst idea in the world to allow the two biggest chains to merge. Please go on record and oppose it. Thank you.
Okay. Any other public comment? All right, we move to Oh, I'm sorry. Who did? Oh.
Good morning, the City Mayor Sternquist and all the City Council members. My name is Shun Zhang, and I'm one of the Board of Directors with the Western Gable Board Realtors Associations. I would like to invite all of you to join our MLS breakfast meeting this Thursday, as the City Manager Brian Cook will be giving us a presentation of the Temple City Development Modernization. So I'd like to invite you either in person or in Zoom. I will be giving you the Zoom link later on. Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you for letting us know since our city manager didn't do that.
hasn't.
That's no.
Now we're going to go and sit right in
Yeah,
front
now
of
we
it.
have to go and sit in the front row. Yeah, maybe that's why he didn't say anything to us, I guess. I don't know.
I'll pick you up, Fernando.
Okay.
All right, anyone else? Okay, we move to our consent calendar. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any objections? Hearing none, may we have the roll call, please?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Chavez?
Yes.
Councilmember Viscara?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Mann?
Yes.
Mayor Sternquist?
Yes. Okay, thank you. That passes. We move to item 8, public hearing, introduction and first reading of ordinance of the City Council of the City of Temple City, California, amending Title VII by adopting by reference the 2023 Los Angeles County Building Code Title 26, Electrical Code Title 27, Plumbing Code Title 28, Mechanical Code Title 29, Residential Code Title 30, Existing Building Code Title 33, California Green Building Standards Code with certain amendments, additions, and deletions by adding a new Chapter 10, Electric Vehicle Charging Stations, permitting to Title 7. City Council is requested to adopt the 2023 Los Angeles County Building Codes by reference to bring the city into conformance with the state law. And we have Scott here, our Community Development Director. Oops.
Actually, sorry, Mayor
I'm
Sternquist, our chief building official, Dennis Tarango, will give a very brief presentation.
Okay.
Thank you. Good morning, or sorry, good afternoon.
What is it? Everyone's wishing us good morning.
I think we haven't
Feels
recovered
like
from
morning.
Halloween yet.
Yeah, a little hangover from Halloween.
Yeah.
So we're here again for our every 3-year adoption of the Temple City construction codes. This year, we are recommending, as we do every 3 years, to adopt the LA County construction codes and the California Green Building Standards Code. California allows us to adopt provisions provided we provide findings for our adoption. We're recommending, as we do every year, to adopt the same code sections with the amendments for this year. We recommend that the council read by title only, waive further reading, and schedule a public hearing for a second reading on November 15th. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, do we have any council questions? Fernando?
No.
Tom? William?
No.
No questions?
Thank you.
Okay.
I do have one question. Why is it every 3 years?
Why is it every 3
Yeah.
years? The code cycle allows, the 3-year code cycle allows us to have hearings. The Building Standards Commission has advisory committees and hearings, which take typically 3 years to complete.
Okay.
So
And has it been that way for a while?
it's been that way ever since I know.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
Yeah, I just thought it's unusual to see like 3 years. But
every state has different methods of adopting codes. Luckily, California, we have a pretty standardized system. Some states don't have a standardized system, and it's not every 3 years like ours, so we're pretty lucky.
And is of course, this is up to the discretion of every city, but do most cities adopt, and this is for LA County, of course, right?
Yes.
Do most cities in LA County adopt this?
They do, specifically in our area, and that's why we do adopt the LA County building codes, because it provides conformity.
And
It'll-
consistency, yeah.
Consistency allows applicants to get to know, every city has their provisions that they adopt, but consistency helps compliance.
Okay. Great, thank you.
Scott, is that November 15th meeting a planning meeting?
It's a council meeting,
That's the 15th, is the council meeting?
yes.
Yeah, today's the first,
Oh, my gosh.
14 days.
Today's already the first. That's right, okay. Well, William, I was just thinking I was gonna be here for that meeting, but you'll take over that meeting. Thank you, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Okay, I'd like to open the public hearing. Do we have anyone who would like to speak? Okay, close the public hearing. Any final questions or comments from council?
I have none.
I just want to remind the council, it has been 3 years, the statutory scheme for adopting by reference is a little bit odd. You have a first hearing, first meeting, and then you actually schedule the second one. There'll be notices posted for that. At that time, you'll actually redo the public hearing. So it's not like most ordinances where the second reading can go on consent, be relatively, simple. It'll be separate on the agenda again. We'll walk through things again. There might even be, a bit more detail that time, since that's actually the notice public hearing. So it's a little bit of an odd process. So that's why the recommendation includes scheduling a public hearing for adoption and second reading. Just wanted to make that clear for you, but also for the public who may be watching tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Mayor, since we have Mr. Dennis Tarango here, may I ask you one question about AB 970? Just how can you give us an example of how that would impact any kind of, I guess, permit or plan check that for the proposed vehicle electrical charging stations?
So there's two actual assembly bills. One of them, we're actually creating an ordinance to expedite the process, which we actually have been doing since 2017, but now we're actually codifying that, putting it in our municipal code. The 970 is an ordinance to reduce the number of required parking spaces. So if to install an EV charging station, that equipment would encroach into an area which would take up a required parking space, that would allow that development to eliminate that space because it has to provide an EV charging space. So,
Is there a max on that they can eliminate?
not that I'm aware of.
So they could have all their parking spaces EV charging stations and literally no one else other than someone with an electric car could park there.
So, as Scott said, yeah, it's just those that are required to meet the building code. So if they provided more EV charging that was outside the building code, I would assume that they would not be allowed to eliminate those spaces.
Okay.
So, and in this code change, EV charging spaces are required in a greater amount than there were before.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Can we get a motion?
Yeah, Mayor Sternquist, I would move that we introduce for first reading by title only and waive further reading of Ordinance 22-1066, adopting by reference and amending the 2023 LA County Building, Electrical, Plumbing, Mechanical, Residential, and Existing Building Codes, the 2022 California Green Building Standards Code, and adding a new Chapter 10, Electric Vehicle Charging Stations, and also to schedule a public hearing on November 15th, 2022 to consider adoption and second reading of this ordinance.
Second.
Any objections? Okay, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Chavez?
Yes.
Councilmember Viscara?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Mann?
Yes.
Mayor Sternquist?
Yes. Okay. Our city clerk will read the ordinance title.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 22-1066, an ordinance of the City Council of City of Temple City, California, amending Title VII by adopting by reference the 2023 Los Angeles County Building Code Title 26, Electrical Code Title 27, Plumbing Code Title 28, Mechanical Code Title 29, Residential Code Title 30, Existing Building Code Title 33, California Green Building Standards Code with certain amendments, additions, and deletions, by adding a new Chapter 10, Electrical Vehicle Charging Station permitting to Title 7.
All right, thank you. Okay, we move to item 9, unfinished business, none. New business, none. Update from our city manager.
Thank you, Mayor Sternquist and members of the council. As you know, that the San Gabriel Valley COG through Measure H funds has provided us with services through LACATA, which is a organization that essentially provides wraparound services for those either experiencing homelessness or on the brink of homelessness. This evening I met a gentleman who described to me that he's on the brink of homelessness, and we will try to help him. They are there every Wednesday. They bring clinicians, they bring program managers, they bring assistants to not just provide a meal, but to actually provide a level of service to the community. So that's through the end of the fiscal year. They do meet out on Wednesdays at the picnic shelter with public safety personnel as well. So for any of those who, and also too, for those who feel they're on the brink of homelessness, these are some of the services that we can try to assist them with through LACATA. They are experts in the entry system in terms of helping those get the benefits that they are entitled to and can help them along the way. So our idea, as we've done before, and we did it through the pandemic period, is make sure people don't fall into homelessness if they're on the cusp or a couple months away from an eviction, to try to provide some level of assistance to them. So that's just a reminder that that service is out there.
They meet where, Brian?
LACATA actually hits the streets, but the central point is right at the picnic shelters on Wednesdays.
The what? I'm sorry.
The picnic shelters right outside.
Our shelter.
Yeah, right here.
Oh, okay.
So, and they actually have health clinicians and others too. So the service is working really well. We're really happy about it. We're hoping the COG will extend that another year, because we've actually transitioned some folks from on the brink of homelessness to some services. So really proud of that work so far. This week, and it's going to be a busy couple more weeks, but yes, on Thursday I will be speaking to the West San Gabriel Valley Realtors. Actually, I'm stealing Mr. Reamer's presentation that you see from his director's report. He repackaged it for me, so I'll be presenting to them on a lot of the exciting activity that's happening from a development side in our community. You've seen some of the reports from Mr. Reamers about our valuations, our permits. We have had a robust recovery from 2020 when the sky was falling and development wasn't happening. So we've had a robust recovery. Again, along the event side, just there's a couple of reminders. This coming Saturday, Runaway from Drugs, starting at 8 a.m. Partial closures throughout the Las Tunas, hard closure for the walk on between Neary and Sanita. And then the Relay for Life starting at 11 o'clock, the opening ceremonies right here at Temple City Park as well. And then on November 11th, our Veterans Day annual event at 10:30. So hoping to see many of you there. I'm sure some of you will mention the Halloween event yesterday, which was, I think, one of the biggest crowds I've seen at one of our Halloween events. So great job by our Public Parks and Recreation team. And thank you for Mr. Jambazian for the photos and documenting and having a historical record of the event. Nothing else from me.
Brian, the trunk or treaters, the cars, they were phenomenal. Who caught them to come? Was that staff?
That was
or
staff.
did
That was staff.
volunteer, or-
It actually provided some relief because of our stations. We actually ran out of candy, had to run to Sam's, or the team had to run to Sam's Club, get some more candy. It actually provided some relief for the stations that we've had. So that was all all the creativity you saw was all staff's great approach to providing a very safe, fun, and wide open event so people didn't feel crowded or cramped.
I'd like to see if we can give them, the people who participated, a certificate of recognition. I mean,
Certainly.
they just really went out of their way to decorate those
They did a great job.
beautifully. So if we could do that, I'd really appreciate it.
I'm sure they were going to do some type of recognition, but we'll make sure we do one officially from the city.
Okay.
You got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Update from our city attorney, Greg?
Thank you. I actually don't have an update tonight. I had one, but there were some legal changes this afternoon, so I don't want to give it, and I'm going to hold it off for 2 weeks from now. My apologies.
Thank you. All right. Council reports regarding ad hoc or standing committee meetings. Do we have any?
Nope, I don't have any.
All right. Council items separate from the manager's regular agenda. Councilmember Yu is not here. Councilmember Chavez?
Thank you. Well, I'll be the first to give a shout out to our Parks and Recreation Department for the great job they did last night at the Halloween Carnival. It was a lot of fun, and yes, there were a lot of people there, coming and going. And in fact, when I left, which, I don't know, it was probably around 7:30, 7:45, it was tough to get out of the streets. I mean, the streets were pretty crowded as well. Interestingly enough, I don't know how many trick-or-treaters you guys got, but I noticed that around the park, a lot of the homes around the park they had people that were going to houses and, like we used to see. But as you got further away from the park, it was like nobody. It was like dead. I don't know if did you get anybody at your house, Fernando? You usually get a lot of people, but
We had 14.
14.
Yeah,
Wow.
my wife counted them, and
Yeah.
we got 11.
Yeah, we
And
were
that
at the park,
Well,
but
not only that, after that, I took the dog for a walk, and I walk about a mile. I think I saw 2 trick-or-treaters out.
yeah, well,
And it
by the
wasn't
time we
that
got
late.
home, we had none, nobody. But yeah, it was. But I personally think it's safer for them to come to the park, and I think that's a direct thing. It's in Temple City is that people would come to the park rather than just walking around the streets. I think maybe feel a little safer. One thing I hate to bring up a negative, but I did notice, and maybe Brian, you can check this out. The field at Live Oak Park seems to be in really, really bad shape, and I know we've gone through a whole year of teams playing on it, but are we going to be closing that down soon? And don't we usually close that down, if I remember, in November, December to kind of reseed? I know Adam's not here, but maybe you can get us a report on that.
Sure, I can tell you because I talked to Adam about it. 2 things. One, we're trying to stay within the
Well, yeah,
water
the water thing,
guidelines
right,
and the water
exactly.
restrictions,
Yeah.
and SIO and the team are trying to do their best to keep the fields in decent condition. But yes, there are some significant bare patches,
Yeah.
and we're going to go through the reseeding and the normal process where we do close down the open space part of the park for I think it's almost 8 weeks.
Yeah, I know we do. I know we normally do that.
So the combination of those 3 things created a rough time for those parts of the fields this year.
Right. And I know that Brian also mentioned a few of the things that we have a very busy schedule coming up over the next few weeks. I did get an email, I'm sure most of you did. I just want to share with everyone that, and I was talking with Jerry about this today, the meet and greet for our new superintendent, Dr. Kuna, is Thursday at the high school from 4 to 6, Jerry? 4 to 6:30 in the media room / library. I still call it library, they call it media room, but that's what it is, so. Yeah, so 4 to 6:30 on Thursday, they're having it. And then we also have the Temple City Camellia Festival kickoff. I just
Saw
got an
that
email on
today.
that, which I believe is the Sunday the 12th. Did you get that? Or is it
Thought
the
it was the
14th?
13th.
13th, I don't know.
13th,
Well, yeah, our
14th.
meeting is the 15th, so it would be the 13th.
Okay.
Yeah, Sunday. I know it's a Sunday, so, yeah, busy schedule, so, well, we won't be seeing Jerry too often. I mean, we'll see him all over the place, so. Yeah. All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
You're welcome. Councilmember Viscara?
Well, I'll just echo what everybody else said about last night. I was so impressed. How many people were there? There had to be a couple of thousand, I would think.
Hard to know, but definitely more than 1,000.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard because people were coming and going. I would say if we took a count as people came, it's got to be at least 2,000 people.
That's right, because they were going in
People
and
were
out.
coming and going.
Yeah.
I think there were.
I neglected to give a kudo to Scott because I don't know if you guys have noticed the 99-cent store on Las Tunas. Have you seen it lately? He I guess I complained, and he talked to him, and they really cleaned it up, and they even trimmed the trees up, didn't they? Not them. We probably did that part, but so I'd like to see the whole block look like that. You know, the whole city. Have you been? You like to go there?
I haven't been there for the last few days, week. But
Yeah. Well, this
I'll
was
have to
about
go by
probably a
and see.
month ago. Yeah. So anyway, good job. Thank you publicly.
See,
That's
I
it.
park in the back.
Oh,
You park in the front.
I don't go there.
I know you go to Taekwondo next door, though.
There you go.
Brian, with that, how's the post office doing? I mean, it was similar issues.
Haven't got any complaints. We did some improvements for the post office in and around the area, red curb, some replacement of, and some cleanup ourselves, but it seemed, I haven't heard the same complaints that I've heard in the past. So, but we did some public improvement cleanup in the area, and from, was there maybe a couple weeks ago, it seems like they're doing a decent job, better than before.
Okay. Good. William? Mayor Pro Tem?
Sure. Yeah, the Halloween festival was amazing. The carnival was amazing. I got a chance to talk to Director Matsumoto, and he also commented on the large number of people and also the trying to kind of push more things out so there's more space for people to, because before in the past we had a lot of folks packed into a tight spot. So I noticed that we've kind of spaced things out a little more, but still, I mean,
It looked very full anyway.
it still looked full, yeah, despite that. And, you know, you had your typical lines for all the, you know, the jumpers for the kids and all that. And the one that Helen and I found really amusing was, I think we were running a music code chairs game. That was pretty entertaining. Yeah, so I hadn't seen that in a long time, so that was pretty fun. They had one for the kids or the teenagers, and then they had one for the adults or parents afterwards. So really appreciate the creativity and the diversity of activities out there. And also to Tom, to your point, I've been seeing a decline in trick-or-treaters over the years. We had about 5, I want to say. Yeah, I don't think we got more than 5. So.
It's interesting how different areas. I have a friend of mine that moved up to Gig Harbor, Seattle, which is across from, or Gig Harbor, Washington, which is across the bay from Seattle. He actually keeps track with one of those counters of how many. He sent me the counter last night. It was up to 250.
Jeez.
250 people came to his home to get candy. So you can see there's quite a difference in different areas. But,
Doran Barnes, the CEO from Foothill Transit, moved recently from West Covina to San Dimas, and he's across the street from a park. And he texted me a picture, and he was sitting on his front porch with his grandchildren. They had 1,000 people come to his house.
well, I can remember. You remember when they
It's
used
in
to
a,
bus
it's in a
people into
residential
Temple City.
area.
They used to bus people in basically to Temple City.
But I guess it's right across the street from the park. It's surrounded by houses on 4 sides. So all the people decorate and invite the kids to come over for
But
candy.
see, that's the way it was at Live Oak Park. A lot of the houses were decorated
Around.
right around the park, and there were a lot of trick-or-treaters around the park.
So they get a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, one house right across from the park, I've never seen it before, but they just had a table out with these grids, and then the kids would walk up and they'd said, pick one square, and there was like one candy on each square. So they gave the kids the choice, and at first I thought it was a game, but it wasn't.
Well,
But,
for me, the best thing, sorry to put you on your time, but I just remembered, for me, the best time, and I know Cindy will probably agree, we were asked to walk around the park
It was fun.
and hand out individual, like, little medals that, for costumes that we thought were nice, and they did little goodie bags for each of them, and so we would walk around the park, and the appreciation and the happy faces that we saw on some of the kids as I was giving them the awards, it was priceless. I mean, you'd think that they had won, the lottery or something, but, oh, wow, that was very nice. So I thought that was a good touch. Adam and his staff came up with that idea, rather than having just a few at the end where we used to win it, but a lot of people were getting those little medals. So if you saw them with their little medal around their neck, that's what we were giving out. So that was fun.
So overall, congratulations and kudos to our Parks and Rec staff for developing that. And everyone mentioned a lot of the events, so definitely looking forward to the busy month, as well as probably gonna have more stuff coming in December. And the last thing I wanted to maybe just ask Mr. Cook briefly, could you give us a quick update about all the street resurfacing and repaving we've been doing for the last couple of weeks?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Mann. Yes, for members of the community, pretty much a grid in and around the immediate area. We're resurfacing and what's called grind and overlay, so we're not just putting a slurry seal down, putting oil down. We're actually taking about 2 inches of asphalt and replacing it. So some of our collector streets, minor collector streets, Workman and Woodruff are done from terminus to terminus, end to end of the streets. A lot of the side streets, you'll see Kaufman, Cloverly is done. So we should be done with the project by the first week of December. So that will represent about, just kind of rough numbers, about 15% of the residential streets in the city. So and we'll be looking to bringing forward to the standing committee and then to the council a summer project as well to do potentially a couple things, maybe some resurfacing of parking lots and additional residential streets as well. So thank you to the community for their patience with us, and we try to do it very quickly. When you do the grind and overlay, within a couple hours you can start driving on it. The people should see the striping coming the latter, probably right after Thanksgiving. So things are going well, but thank you for your patience. We've also been doing a lot of curb and gutter work, so the trip and fall hazards that JPIA warns us about. We identified many spots. The contractor actually went out as well, identified a lot of spots. We're making sure we preserve the nice old growth trees. There's been a couple trees that we have had to take out because we've found that they have been diseased or they've compromised too much of the sidewalk. So there's only a couple so far in that process. I think that's the only ones we're going to have to deal with. But a lot of good work. Contractor's been doing a really good job out there. And thank you to TransTech for all their inspection work, both in the field and working with the contractor. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you.
Just again, thank you to the staff, for everyone actually who came out for the Halloween carnival. One of the funniest things I seen was a family that they were all dressed up as medical people, the kids also, but one of the youngest one was the ambulance in front of it. Do you remember that one, Tom? Mm-hmm. And then they had a baby also. I mean, there were 3 kids and they were just adorable. But there were a lot of families that came together and dressed up as themes, and it was really, really quite clever and fun to see. A couple of questions that I had that just came to mind. I've recently started getting emails again about the amount of coyotes that are in the neighborhood, Arcadia, on our boundaries. I was wondering if we could get COG to come and give us an update, Brian, And just so that we know what's going on with that program, are we joining again automatically, or how does that work?
Our prior participation, it was a term, and that term expired. We didn't renew that program. So, but happy to contact, COG's willing to come out and just give a presentation about education related to coyote behavior and those kind of things.
So I don't recall the council talking about how effective we thought that program was. Maybe I missed that meeting, or?
Well, I think we had a discussion, and that was part of the reason we maybe didn't renew it.
Was that?
Because it
okay.
wasn't.
I don't recall that.
We weren't getting anything for our dollars, really. I mean, and remember, some of the hesitancy about even joining it to begin with, if you maybe recall, is that all they're gonna really do is count. They're not gonna eliminate or anything, and so it was like, okay, what are we getting out of this? And
Well,
I mean, I would be glad to hear from them, as you say, well, what, are they increasing again, or what's happening, you know?
Well,
Are they protected or something?
Oh, yeah, you can't do things, you can't go after them, or eliminate them.
They can't trap them and take
Well, I
them
don't know if
away?
they can trap them, they maybe,
think
but
only-
they can maybe trap them and relocate them, but
If they're
you can't
sick,
kill
they
them.
can euthanize them.
Yeah,
but-
yeah, if they're
And that's
dangerous,
the
right.
animal control, not
There's
just
stages
the
in which Fish and Game and others can identify a dangerous coyote, but it is a pretty lengthy process.
You know, if you live near a wash, that's where you see them, because we live near a wash and we see a lot of them. And that's, because they use them as, that's the highway for them.
I don't live near a wash,
Do you see 'em?
and
Well-
we get tons of them.
Muscatel and near Emperor seems to be the biggest influx now, and they're no longer 3, they're 5 together.
Yeah.
In the
5,
pictures,
wow.
5 of them that I've seen. So I was just curious because I did not remember, and I don't know, after being with the program for 2 years, I agree, I would have not thought to renew it, but I don't know if they're doing anything different now that they've done the program for 2 years.
Happy to reach out to them and then if they have anything new, bring them before the council.
Okay, and then if we could just repost the information that we have already had on there about the education of what to do with coyotes on our website, that would be really
We'll make it more prominent.
Okay. And then, since I'm not gonna be here at the next meeting, but I was wondering do we start the relaxing of parking? Will that be on the next agenda?
That would be on that will be on the next agenda. Yes.
Okay. And then if approved, it would start how soon after the 15th?
I
I think it
believe.
doesn't start till December.
Yeah, I don't think.
I thought it was before Thanksgiving.
No.
No, it's not. It's not before
after
the.
Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it's after Thanksgiving.
Okay, perfect, then there's no hurry for that. All right, let's see, that's all I have. Thank you, Jerry, for coming out and taking so many pictures. How many people do you think were there? You took enough pictures.
1,500 to 2,000.
Wow, great. All right, let's see, additional public comment. Anyone? Okay, no additional speakers. So we are adjourned, and William will take up the helm next meeting. Thank you, William.
Thank you.